Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the NRB 2025, and we have our another interview with a government official. We have Shira Shapira, who is the CEO, the deputy CEO of the Israel Heritage Ministry. Now, not only does she have an amazing job and responsibility within the Israeli government, but she also has a very unique story to tell. Many of you in our audience have seen some of the images and the videos that came out of October 7th. Her son was in a bomb shelter, and in that bomb shelter, the terrorists were throwing in grenades, and we saw the images on the TV. Her son was the one who threw those grenades out. She has an amazing story. Shira, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are, your work with the Ministry of Heritage, and let's talk about your son, the hero.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that we are talking together. Thank you very much. I'm an architect, and urban planner, and I worked the last 6 years in the Ministry of Heritage. It's a governmental office. We are responsible for the tangible and intangible heritage in Israel, which means that we usually regular life before the 7th of October. We do, first of all, we document heritage.
Okay.
Then we have to sometimes save the heritage from getting ruined or falling apart.
Right.
Then we have to conserve the heritage sites. Then we have to, enhance the heritage, make heritage sites open for the public, and our goal is to connect the people in Israel with their heritage. So we want to connect people to the heritage. That's what we do on the regular days,
On good days.
Yeah. And
It's been a difficult time. It's been a difficult season.
Exactly. So since the 7th of October, we understood at our ministry that we have to go and work very, very quickly and do whatever we do on regular basis much more quickly and in a really rush against time.
Right.
In order to document and to save all the artifacts in the Gaza envelope, in order to make sure that the stories will be with us forever. And what happened will stay with us. We will remember, and we will start thinking of getting back to life. The heritage must be documented at the first phase.
Right.
So that's what we're doing since the 7th of October. We're not doing it alone. We're doing it with all our very professional partners, with the Israeli Antiquity Authority, with the National Library, with many other partners, with Yad Yitzhak Ben Tzvi. Every partner we called and we said, what we do on a regular basis, now you come and help us do it in a much more intensive way over there. And this is what we're doing.
So this is amazing because you don't really think about the heritage sites in a conflict like this.
Right.
But the heritage sites are important to substantiate Israel's legitimate rights to her ancient homeland.
Right.
And her, the people who live in the land and the artifacts that are all there. How has the heritage sites been affected by October 7th? What are the challenges that your ministry has had to deal with?
So your question is very good because first of all, we have the heritage sites that were heritage sites before the 7th of October, and some of them were injured, and we have to protect them and to save the heritage sites and to make sure that to conserve them and to make sure that they will continue to be what they were before.
Right.
But we have also new heritage sites. What do I mean? Let's say the Be'eri forest where the Nova Festival was. And what happened there became like a new heritage site. Thousands of people come to see where it all happened. And people commemorate their loved ones. And buses and buses of people from Israel and from abroad come to see the place that this all horrific attack happened. So this becomes, right now, a new heritage site. And we have the Tkuma, it's a place next to the Be'eri forest, where we took all the cars that people ran from the cars on the route 232, which is next to the Nova Festival. It's a main route in the Gaza envelope. And people were shot in their cars, were murdered, and people tried to save one another through in these cars. So we took all the cars that actually became like evident for that terrible day. And we took them to a special place, and we first of all saved them because we want to keep them. So we said we have to keep it. We cannot get rid of them. We have to keep it. They tell a story. The cars tell a story, and each car has many stories to tell, because in each car there are sometimes 4 or 5 people were murdered. So we have to tell the story, the private, the each and every one that has a story in the car. We have 1,400 cars.
Oh my gosh.
1,400 cars. And second of all, we have the mass of all the cars together. So it's not only the private story, but the story of all the cars together. The horrific attack. We see the numbers. You see so many cars. It's unbelievable. So this became another heritage site, and we had the kibbutzim, where people were slaughtered in their houses and fought for their lives and for their loved ones' lives. So we have some houses, burned houses in the kibbutzim, that we are thinking of leaving them. Not many, because we want to come back to life, but some places that are like a testimony for the future, and we want to leave them, and they will become a new heritage site. So now we have to combine the heritage sites before the 7th of October with these terrible new heritage sites. And our mission is to look in a balanced way between the past and the current ongoing future, because it's not over yet. The war is not over, and nothing is over. And mostly we want to look at the future. So how do we do it? How do we balance the past, the great past that we had, the terrible near past that we are still in, and the, I hope, great future that we will have? How do we combine? So we think, I just want to share with you our vision. We think that there are 2 main forces that everyone can connect to, every human being. One force is the force of remember. We want to remember. We want to commemorate. We want to cherish the past. Not only the trauma or the horrific past. The good past that we had, our grandmother, our grandfather, our family, our community, we want to remember. The second force is, circle of life. Life must go on. The show must go on. We have to continue. We have to, continue life. So these 2 forces everyone can connect to both of them. But some people mistake and think they contradict. That either you remember and then everything will be terrible, or you go back to life and then you forget. We say no. These 2 forces, you should take them together.
They're simultaneous.
Yeah, exactly. So if you feel these 2 forces together and you combine them, this is a way to build your resilience. And the heritage is a bridge from the past, from the remembrance to the future, to the circle of life.
Right.
You take the heritage as a bridge to resilience, to getting stronger, to finding your own identity, your community, your national identity,
Right.
and you decide what you want to take from the past and take it to the future. What you want to, do this movement from the past to the future.
Right.
And this is our vision. That's what we're trying to do.
So how is the country, the people, responded to this message about preserving the heritage?
It's
Because, you bring up a very important point. This is how do you live post the traumatic attack that happened? It's still happening today.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still
it's ongoing.
missiles being
It's not. We don't
launched.
have the perspective.
Right.
It's not over.
You can't stop
No.
living. You've got to move forward, and that's a difficult place to be in.
Yeah.
So your ministry is helping to bridge that gap.
Right. This is our vision. This is our mission. Our vision
Right.
and our mission.
Yeah.
And this is what we're trying to do. It's not easy, but we decided to do it with the communities.
Right.
We will not top down decide this is
Right.
what will happen. That won't do the job.
How are the
We are-
kibbutzes?
We are working with each kibbutz,
Mhm.
with each community. We come and we say, here is what we can do. We can document, we
Right.
can save the artifacts, we can help you. We don't force you. But if you
Right.
want, your head now is in a different place, you don't think of
Right.
it, we will do it. We come with our professional organizations and knowledge, and we will do this for you. And this is what we're doing. And then after we document and collect, now this is the first phase is documentation and collection to save the evidence. And that they liked us to do. They permitted us to go inside and do this for them. Now we are in the phase of planning, of thinking, okay, now what is our vision? What do we want to do with it?
Right.
So this is our phase right now. We are planning, and we do it with each and every community. We will not do it top down. We will do it bottom up. So we are coming with our staff, and we are sitting with a special team that
Right.
they decide on, and we are talking and thinking, and then we will look on the whole space, on the whole area, on the
Right.
big zone of the Negev Ma'aravi, of the Gaza envelope, and we will combine all the different places, different sites, the public sphere between them, and we will plan this spatial heritage
Right.
of the resilience and of the future of the of the Gaza envelope.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank God with his help, you'll accomplish it.
I hope.
But Shira has another story, a more personal story to October 7th. And really, I think that probably impacts the work that you do
Yeah.
in the Heritage Ministry. So Shira, tell us about what happened on October 7th for you and for your family.
So me and my husband, we have 7 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I thought I had a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I don't have 7, I have 5.
Okay, 5 is a lot also. So we
That's
have 7.
amazing.
Yeah, we have 7 kids. Our oldest one. Sometimes people introduce me as the mother of Aner since the 7th of October because people know his story. But I'm not only the mother of Aner, I'm the mother of 7 kids. It's very important to remember and to keep in mind that our 6 are alive and 1 is alive in a different way.
Right.
So what happened is my oldest son, Aner, he was a soldier in the elite unit of Nachal, and he was off duty on that Saturday. So he was home. We had a terrific, it was a holiday. It was a
Right.
Saturday and a holiday. So we had a meal, all of us together, no guests, only us. Everyone was at home, all the kids. It was really special. It was a great meal.
Thank God.
Yeah, I can't even explain how much beautiful it was. And then he went to the party with his best friend Hirsch Goldberg Polin, which I'm sure you heard of. And it was his birthday, so that's why they went to the party together. And they arrived to the party, and at 6:30 in the morning, his officer called him from the army, and he said, "You have to come back quickly. Something started." So Aner said, "Of course, I'm half an hour. I'll be there," because he was based in Mutzav Sufa, which is very close by to the Nova Festival,
Right.
to the Re'im forest. It's really close. So he said, "Okay." He called his soldiers. He was a commander. He called his soldiers, and they started to go to the army, all of them. And he said, I'm going." So he went out of the party, and he started to drive on Route 232 that I told you before.
Right.
And then they were bombing and shooting on the road. So they decided to enter the shelter. It's like a shelter on the way because people used to bombing. So
Right.
it's a shelter to prevent from bombing. But what happened, it was like a death trap because they were inside like 27 people hiding. He came, the last one, and everyone was in panic. So he said, "Don't worry, I'm Aner Shapira, I'm a soldier at the Nachal Elite unit. The army knows the terrorists came to Israel, but our army knows and they will be here very soon. Don't worry, everything will be okay. I will protect you." And they said, "We're so happy." They didn't know him, and he didn't know them. He knew
Wow.
only Hersh Goldberg Polin.
Right.
But he took a stand. He understood that he will take responsibility, and he stood at the entrance to the shelter, and he said, "I will protect you." He thought they will come inside. He understood there are terrorists very close by. He thought they will come inside. He found a barrel of beer. He broke it, and he had something, to hold in his hand and to protect if they come in.
Right.
Because he was only with sandals and t-shirt from the party. He didn't have anything. Only his bare hands and his spirit.
Oh, wow.
He didn't have anything.
Oh my gosh.
So then the terrorists were too afraid to come inside. And he understood that they will start throwing grenades. And he told them, "They will start throwing grenades. I will pick the grenades up and will throw it back on the terrorist. If I miss or if I get injured, you should continue after me."
Wow.
So like a real
Wow.
leadership, he does what is right to do.
He was commanding even the group in that bomb shelter.
Yeah, which he didn't know, and he shouldn't have. He shouldn't. It's not his job to do it, but
Right.
he felt
He did it.
it is
Yes.
his job. And then, as he said, they started throwing grenades, and he took the first one, he picked it up and threw it back on the terrorist, and then another one, and another one, and another one. 8 grenades he picked and threw back on the terrorist, and we have recording from the shelter that people are saying, "You are so brave. You are throwing all the grenades. I can't believe it." You hear the people in the shelter because
Yes.
we have the recording on some other person's phone. So we know everything that happened inside. And after 8 grenades, they saw that they cannot deal with him with grenades. So they brought RPG, which is a huge machine gun,
no.
and they
Yes.
shot. And then you hear the recording, he says, "No, no," and a big explosion. And he was giving his life in order to save others. And then after he died, and no one could protect anymore, there was a very hard moment in the shelter because they said, "We lost our protector." That's what they say.
Oh.
Our protector is now no longer here with us. And then they told us, the survivors, that they understood that what he did, they should continue. So 2 of them managed to throw one with their leg, one grenade, one person, and another grenade, another person. But then they couldn't succeed anymore. They were less, professional. And the terrorists came inside. They kidnapped 5 people. Hersh Goldberg Polin was kidnapped, and 4 others. They put them on a car, and then they came inside. They shot everyone. But because Aner, fought with them barehanded for almost 40 minutes, they were in a hurry. So they didn't shoot so,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
killed.
yeah. So they did very quickly, and then they took the car and they kidnapped those people to Gaza. In the shelter, the people that are left there, only little of them died immediately. Most of them got wounded, but nobody came to save them. So until 2:30 in the afternoon, they were, dying. And you hear in the recording their last breath. But fortunately, 7 people were not injured, and they are alive with us. And the minute the 2 citizens came to rescue them at 2:30 in the afternoon, they said, the minute they came to rescue, they said, there is one guy, Aner Shapira, he saved our lives.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they kidnapped the hostages 2 weeks ago. One of them came back, Or Levy. Hirsch Goldberg Pauline was murdered the 1st of September
Yes.
in Gaza, which we're devastated. But one hostage came back 2 weeks ago, and he said exactly the same story. I want to meet the parents of the guy that saved me, and we went to meet him.
Oh my God.
And it was amazing. Like I felt that I'm looking at a miracle. He was bones and, so thin and looking bad, but he had his spirit, and he said, I'm alive due to your son. He gave me the power, he gave me life. And 3 days ago, on last Saturday, another one came, Elia Cohen, from the hostages from the shelter, and we are still waiting for another one, Alon Ohel, and we pray that he will come
Amen.
very, very soon with all the other hostages. We pray that they will come. It's really unbelievable that they are still there. And, Aner saved lives. So he didn't succeed saving his own life, but he saved others. So he left us his legacy,
Yes.
his heritage. He was a musician, he was a painter, and he wrote more than 60 songs. He wrote, he composed, he sang, he recorded, and he was going to publish his album. And on the 27th of March, this March, in 3 weeks, we will publish his album.
Oh my gosh.
So it will be the most happy and most sad event. And we already published 6, but now we will publish the big album. And we
the
will
whole world
continue
to
his
hear.
heritage,
Yes, his legacy.
his legacy.
Ah,
And I'm very grateful for him that he left us so much to continue life, as we said before. And my mission is that as I have the documentation, and we have the videos of the grenades thrown back, and we have the testimonies of the people, and we have the shelter, and we have the recording, we have the evidence of what happened, we have the artifacts of what happened. This is my mission, that we will have the evidence for everything that happened on the 7th of October. And as I have the mission of, continuing the legacy of Aner, I hope we will continue the heritage of the whole
nation.
communities and the nations.
Yes.
And we will look forward with a lot of hope.
Shira, you are an amazing woman and an amazing mother. That your son would be remembered for trying to save the lives of humanity, even complete strangers.
Yeah.
We are so grateful for you. We understand the pain that you suffer, but look how amazing that Hashem would lead you into architecture and lead you into this position of keeping and maintaining and protecting, safeguarding the heritage of Israel.
Yeah.
And here is your son.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
really-
safeguard his legacy and his history for posterity's sake. I mean, we're now going to be able to continue to benefit or enjoy your son's presence through his music.
Right.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. I just end with his poem, which I think is really amazing. In one of his songs, he said, I'm a man who believes in change. Never mind change, I'm a man who believes. Okay, so I'm a man who believes. Never mind believing. It's enough to be a man, to be a mensch. That's what he said. That's what he did. That's what he gave his life for.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it was because of the influence of his mother and his father.
It's
You're
him.
an amazing
It's
woman.
him.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.